Angaya mamwe ya memwe Nikala ya sichula mukumala mamwe Nikala ya sichula mukumala mamwe Kule mala ela mwe Gatantu ya mapena Kule mala ela kalanda Gatantu ya mapena Uya kolenga mwe Uya kaidi mwe Uya kolenga mwe Uya kaidi mwe Uya mwate mwe Uya nyangu mwe Uya mwate mwe Uya nyangu mwe Tumulile mune sokolo Tumulile mune sokolo Mwene chupa ya watusha Mwene chupa ya watusha Tukulosha nulanda mwe Tukulosha nulanda mwe Belu mupanda chupa tuliza tukuzane mwe Belu mupanda chupa tuliza tukuzane kalanda mwe Tumulile mwene tafuna Tumulile mwene tafuna Mwene tafuna uya watusha Mwene tafuna uya watusha Tukulosha nulanda mwe Tukulosha nulanda mwe Kwelu mupanda tafuna tuliza tukuzane mwe Kwelu mupanda tafuna tuliza tukuzane kalanda mwe
Abamambwe nabena mwanga
Tumulile mwene mwamba mwe Tumulile mwene mwamba mwe Mwene ya sababu ya watusha Mwene ya sababu ya watusha Tukulosha nulanda mwe Tukulosha nulanda mwe Belu mupanda ya sapatuliza tukuzane mwe Belu mupanda ya sapatuliza tukuzane kalanda mwe Banyimambwe nungunungu Alene onsi onsi Tumulile mwene chinakila Tumulile mwene chinakila Chinakila Mwene chinakila uya watusha Tukulosha nulanda mwe Tukulosha nulanda mwe Kwelu mupanda chinakila tuliza tukuzane mwe Kwelu mupanda chinakila tuliza tukuzane kalanda mwe Aubaka mangu ya jila pachilenga Alumwe na watafu Kumpangia mangwe Kumpangia ulu Jaulanda zisha shumu
Hello. Good evening, Chiwempala. Elias Munsha here. I'm coming to you live from Calgary, Alberta. And then on the other side is my friend and director at TV Vakwetu, Jerome Kanika. How are you doing, Jerome? And our resident pharmacist. So, Jerome, you've been promoted from resident pharmacist at TV Vakwetu to actually a board member, director at TV Vakwetu. Isn't that great?
Vamunshake nalavo chitundu cha Copper Belt ala Jansan's. I was also shocked to say that I'm a board member. Oh my goodness, TV Vakwetu is now pushing me or taking me to another level. Is it because of 2022 or what? It's a good feeling actually to be a director of TV Vakwetu. Yeah, it's a very good feeling.
All right.
I'm very much humbled. And you see, TV Bakwetu, it's like something that is like a bushfire in Zambia. And, you know, to be part of that revolution, I think I'm more than humbled myself.
All right. Okay, wonderful. Now, we have a lot on the agenda today, but I just want to rant a little bit because the agenda is quite big. But in the meantime, we are going to ask all of you people to share with as many people as possible, and then we have got something that we've got to run here for our advertiser, and so we want to run.
Has it ever happened to you while you abroad? You send some money for your project, and they take advantage of the situation for their own purpose. Now we are your solution. If you buy land, we will check for you. No matter how far you are, we make it happen for you. Panama, you is any to Bagare, is any to Lande Pagashi. Heirs Global, we make it happen for you. Heirs Global, Heirs Global, Heirs Global, we make it happen for you. Do you want inspection? Heirs Global, documentation? Heirs Global. Do you have a funeral? Maybe a wedding? Heirs Global.
Check us out at www.airsglobal.com. Airs Global, we got you covered.
Airs Global.
All right, thank you very much. Again, Elias Musha here with Jerome Kanika and TV Bakwetu. The other was just playing is AERS Global, very nice company, and we'll be talking a little bit more about what it does subsequently. But Jerome, we have a lot. We have a lot that we need to discuss. But first of all, I want you to answer me some questions here. Okay, Jerome, who borrowed $31 billion for the government in the past few years?
But Munsha, a question here, even my 2-year-old son actually was just telling me to say, Daddy, you did a very good job to vote out my PF. I said, when I was so one problem, Daddy, it was not even okay, even there.
All right.
It was the PF.
It was the PF, 31 billion. Now, who is trying to pay back this money?
Again?
Who is going to pay back this money?
If I buy UPND, who are planning to pay, who are paying this, the Zambian people through the UPND.
Do you have any plans? So during the PF, were they paying this debt down, or what was happening?
Vamunsha vale poca fie. Vale poca fie trekule fi ofo tafia poa. Vale I know banalamba no kuseka. Kwanda university yoko bankandro bateula.
All right. So here on TV Bakwetu, we would like to commend the efforts that are being done by the new donor administration to pay down our debt. We have accepted as the people of Zambia that we are in a very, very deep issue as far as debt is concerned. $31 billion is how much our country owes at the moment. And any efforts to try and pay down this debt are commended. And we would like to lots of positive vibes so that we pay down this debt. To all those that are mocking the government efforts at doing this, you should be ashamed of yourself. Right?
Just to come in over that, I think what do we need, or ask the Zambians, since the Minister of Finance mentioned yesterday, announced that tomorrow there will be a meeting. All of us actually were even supposed to say tomorrow should be a day for prayer and fasting, so that we pray for those guys who are negotiating for us, the people of Zambia, to have a better way of paying that debt. because we are sophisticated, all of us, too much.
All right. I agree with that, and that's what we need. We need to see that all of us as people in Zambia, we band together, we come together to support. Now, they support ya kuimina fiat mwamba kuchivivula imba ubayunza. No. What it is sending positive vibes so that we resolve the debt crisis that we have at the moment. And President Hakainde Hichilema has not shifted blame. He's not saying no, Shani. He's not. No, he has said that he will pay, and so that is very positive. And so we need to commend those efforts to pay back the debt. Okay. Now, why should we be talking about it? Why can't we just ignore and start at afresh, Jerome?
Vamusha, one thing that we need to know is we can't start afresh if we have something that is hindering us to progress. The debt is hindering us. People are failing to come to invest in Zambia because they have said that the government has borrowed a lot and their money is very much at risk if they come to invest into Zambia. They cannot, other people cannot also associate with ourselves if we don't put our house in order in terms of restructuring the debt. So this is the bad part. We need to sort out that debt. We need to be seen to be serious in sorting out that. That's when we can see in terms of progress. Or else we cannot progress without sorting out the mess PF left us into 10 years of mess.
Right. Okay. Abantu, dear people of Zambia, the picture that we have in our country was pretty bad. Ababale Teka, they were extremely they were criminals. The Patriotic Front was a criminal enterprise, a criminal organization, a group, a clique of Kelenkas. And so what they left behind was 31 billion in debt. If you as a country owe 31 billion, what it means is any money that you raise through taxes, it goes to pay that $31 billion debt. You can't invest in education, you can't invest in salaries, you can't invest in social sectors, because all the money that you are using, you are paying down the debt. And so in 9 months, this new government says that they want to pay down that debt. It's a very, very big effort. We need to commend them and we need to encourage them. All those people, and everything else, please ignore them and pray that all these debt talks, they go well so that our debt, some of it will be forgiven, some of it will be restructured, some of it will be postponed. What it means is, Shimbinko instead ya kulipira ati tulipire ono mwaka bakabika ko amayeza ayenga ya kulipira twakulalipira ko pano. These are the talks that are going on right now. Number also
Vamusha, you see, abama guys after bakongola batushire nkongole kwebena Zambia bonzi batukulika, what they have done is they have come out with a propaganda saying that no, the new Dawn government has given tax holidays to the mines, tax the mines until they are sophisticated. That's when you are going to get money from the mines. But look, there's not any form of tax holiday here. What is happening here is even the mines are being taxed, but still even the taxes we get from the mines, we can't pay back the 31 billion.
Right.
What we need is a proper framework. And moreover, they left confusion in the minds. Vaya bukerenka vapoka KCM. Vaya bukerenka mupani over no papera. You know, 2022. Vaya pundat out again, push the power, whatever billions of dollars. If you bukerenka and pante kind of policies, then they want to blame that on the European government. I think we need to be fair enough, very much fair. And I'm getting shocked to hear people who want us to to clean up the mess of 10 years in 10 months. Sure, right. Even in Endoshi, over magician, nabena kukana ati mess 30 to chiteyo.
Yeah. You can't just wave a magic wand within 10 months to clean up the kind of mess that we were in over 10 years. To put our people in a very proper picture here, we went on a borrowing spree to borrow, and half of the money that we borrowed, it was all stolen. But that is not the point. The point is that there are efforts today that are being made to try and pay down this debt. And we need to commend this government. We need to commend the government. No matter what your political affiliation is, if you mean well for this country, you are going to support efforts at ensuring that the 31 billion debt is restructured. Now, there is debt on behalf of state-owned enterprises. There is internal debt that was accumulated from the banks within the Zambian financial sector. Some suppliers are being owed. And then there is debt from China, debt from the Eurobonds, debt from Americans, debt from the British, debt from the Germans and the French and all over the place. But the efforts here are being made to pay that debt down. And once that is done, we are going to have enough money for us to continue investing in various resources and in various programs. Anyway, we've got to move on from there to deal with the elephant in the room, Jerome. Are you ready?
Definitely, I'm very much ready because the people need to know the truth. The problem that I've seen is there's a gap in terms of people knowing the truth, and it's good that today we'll be able to share with the people the truth on what is happening actually in this country.
All right. Drugs. Now, Jerome, imiti mufipatala tamuliyo. I've been in touch with people on the ground everywhere. Kuchwempala, kumilenge, na ukokuine mwaba kachuka nikumikomfwa da Jerome. Nikuisa mwaba, nikumikomfwa.
Vamunshanga mwangana lando kuna baba PF kutumina usupata.
Anyway, we don't have drugs in hospitals. What is going on? Now, I know that you don't speak for the government, you don't speak for the party, you just speak for yourself. But I brought you here so that you can give me a better perspective, because you are a TV director, but you are also in Zambia, and you are a pharmacist. And you, Jerome, have been talking about this issue for years. As a matter of fact, had it not been for you, we wouldn't have known that Honeybee had supplied fake drugs. Yeah. So you are the only person I have who can help me understand what is going on. Okay? Yeah. No drugs in hospitals. Now, right from the start, I want you to know that it's unacceptable to have no drugs in hospitals. What's going on?
Okay, I think what is going on? Vamusha, let's understand one thing. We cannot say we have completely run dry in terms of the supply of drugs in hospitals. No, but the stock levels that we have in different hospitals can only last for about a month in terms of anything. Then we need to buy more and all that. All this thing is because of one or two reasons, which I'll explain that happened at ZAMMSA, because some of these reasons, even here in TV Bakwet, we shared some of those reasons, and the reason why we have found ourselves in this, just that people don't pay attention once we are trying to speak out on some of the issues, and they didn't know the repercussion with some of the things that we said 3-6 months ago here on TV Bakwet. We are low in terms of the stocks concerning the medication. It's not that we are completely dry. No, we understand the exaggeration and the propaganda that is going, this issue, which is being exaggerated, it is now the business fight that is happening on the other side. I'm a pharmacist.
Okay.
I know what happens in my industry, the pharmaceutical industry, and I know all the plans that have been put across so that the current Minister for Health, she can be fired because other people, they want to continue manipulating the government system.
I just want to go back a little bit. So what you are saying is that we don't have a shortage of drugs right now. We have at least a 1 month cover of drugs. Is that your assessment?
Yeah, my assessment is we have a 1 month cover of drugs in all the facilities. We are not completely dry. Now, when people are trying to say, no, we went to the hospital, we have not been given that. I asked someone who was talking the same thing to say, look, you can't tell me that the hospital didn't give you amoxicillin. You can't tell me that the hospital didn't give you Panadol. You can't tell me that the hospital didn't give you Fragile. And there's some of these issues, some of the drugs that may not be there in the hospitals. It's not that the government has failed to buy them. Even on the private sector side, some drugs, we may not have them. We don't have them. All these things are happening because of some things that happened 2 years, a year ago in terms of COVID and all that. So we need to know exactly how these things are coming from and what is happening. Why are we having some of these drugs not being available while other drugs are also available?
Okay, I'm finding it difficult to understand you, Jerome. Okay, do we have, okay, so the issue in Zambia is when we say that we don't have drugs in hospital, it's not really the specialized drugs, because all along, most of the hospitals in our country have not had the specialized drugs. So no, what we are dealing are antibiotics, painkillers like Panadol, and imiti shisho batunga waya ku hospital vaya kutunga shiremiti. Do we have those drugs?
Vamusha, let's understand one thing. Under the PF, we never used to have any drugs in the hospitals, and they killed the supply chain. They killed the supply chain because they didn't want to do the right thing. You see? So the 10 years of the PF, don't think like we used to have drugs in hospitals. That's not true. At the PF, when they are commissioning some facilities, they would even go borrow boxes where they put Gojinax, where they put Mayeu to go put them to medical stores to indicate like they are drugs. No, we never used to have drugs. Because of the panicking that was happening under the PF, they went and bring in fake drugs for ANB to kill the Zambian people. Now in this new Dawn administration, they have said, no, we are doing the right thing and we need to do the right thing for the people of Zambia. So in terms of someone coming to exaggerate to say that, no, this is the first time we have been shortages of drugs, that's not true. Vamusha, we need to accept that. That's not true. Drugs, even the time of PF, it was worse than the way it is currently.
From your assessment, we do have some drugs, but you think it might last for about a month?
Look, from my assessment, we do have some drugs in the facilities, but not all the drugs.
Okay.
Even as we are speaking currently right now in the private sector, when you ask people who have who runs my private pharmacies and all that, they are going to tell you that we have some shortages of drugs on the market. This is not only happening in Zambia, it is happening even in different countries. This is the private sector. You find that this patient uses this drug, they will tell them to say, no, we cannot give you this medication because we have run out of this drug. You need to wait for this period of time, or you can use this alternative. You see, this is what's happening. But on the government side, we have some drugs, but on the low stock, low levels. We don't have the drugs that we can pause for about 3 months. No, we have some stock that can only last for just 30 days. We need to buy more.
Okay, so why haven't we bought? Jerome, you've been very close to the drug issues in Zambia. You reminded us of the fake drugs under the PF and stuff like that. Why haven't we bought drugs? What's going on? Government has released money.
Yeah, I think, Vamusha, when you check very well, last time, it should be in December. I came on TV, Bakwetu. December, yes, I came on TV, Bakwetu. I mentioned about the tender that was issued by ZAMMSA. I mentioned to say ZAMMSA has issued a tender, and in this tender, ZAMMSA hasn't followed the law. And the citizen-owned company who felt like ZAMMSA didn't do the correct thing, they took the matter up and they sued ZAMMSA. And more from that, ZAMMSA lost the case. And all the process of buying the drugs were stopped by the courts. You see? So the matter finished maybe about 3 weeks ago. So this is now when the courts said you can go ahead and now make sure that you procure the medication for the people because of the same issues of the tender, which was taken to the court by some citizen-owned. Well, on the other hand, we had some framework contracts with some of the suppliers who have been supplying drugs to the government of Zambia. These suppliers were given framework contracts by the PF administration. They continued supplying the medication. Not that they were stopped. No, that's not true. No supplier was stopped. They continue supply the medication. Some, they even do manufacture the drugs. They continue manufacturing drugs for the Zambian government. Even them, in terms of manufacturing, they have failed still to reach or to get to kukumanisha demand yama drugs or government require. Well, they have framework contracts, which government again on the other hand is paying them. Bamusha, people are lying to say that we have stayed we are not paying the supplies for drugs. That's not true. Where the PF left 2.4 billion kwacha for the payment of for debt in terms of supplies for drugs. Currently, the government has paid more than 1.5 billion to the suppliers of the drugs. So how come people are saying that suppliers are not being paid? That's not true. Suppliers are being paid. But on the other hand, every supplier needs to do the right thing. Every institution needs to follow the law according. Only those suppliers with questionable supply of drugs are the ones that are finding challenges. The means of health is not the one paying. It is the means of finance. So when all your papers are there, all the contracts, the delivery notes, the quality assurance certificates, which if ZAMRA has issued to you and also ZAMMSA has issued to you, you compile them up, you take to means of finance. Means of finance, they are the ones who are paying. And most of the suppliers who are talking too much are the ones with the problem on their papers. Some, they supplied air. So as a result, they were not given some papers for them to demand for the money.
Pharmacist Kanika, we understand. Okay, you've made a very good, nice explanation. Here is the thing. We are 9 months into the new dawn. We are negotiating for debt relief. There's been a lot of progress at the moment. Renegotiating debt, expanding our fiscal framework, discipline in terms of our expenditure, marketing of our business environment in Zambia, attracting foreign direct investment, restructuring Mopani, attracting new investment for Nchanga, and all these are very, very positive. However, 10 months later, I'm still getting this idea that we can't seem to get the drug issue straight. Okay. That tender, okay, fine, that was thrown out, and the tender that they had done in December. So where is the holdup, right? Because if in 1 month we completely run out of drugs, we are in a crisis. Where is the holdup? Because everybody listens to you, Jerome, because you are a very, very reliable and consistent figure as far as the pharmaceutical industry is concerned. Somebody a private citizen who came on the scene and dramatized the issue of what was happening in health. So you tell me, where is the holdup? And please be brief. And therefore, point by point, the holdup is here. What we need to clear is here, so that we have drugs flowing at least by next month. Otherwise,
Vamusha, I get that. I get that. One, you see, first of all, I started one thing to say. One, I came on TV Bakwet to say the appointment of acting or interim TJ at ZAMMSA was the wrong appointment. People called me names, they called whatever names, whatever, but I said we are going to face a serious problem in the near future. And now the future is not even long enough. Today, where we are, what are we facing? We are facing the problem. But what has happened? They have fixed that. So they have put now a proper person to act as acting CEO of the ZAMMSA. And she's so far doing the correct job. You see, the issue of drugs, Bamusha, is not about Umpendama Panado, are we? No wonder we say, look, we need people who are specialized in issues to do with the drugs to learn ZAMMSA. You can't get someone with a good specialty of internal medicine to learn ZAMMSA. This is the mess we are in today. But now we have a new person.
Basically, what you're saying is that medical doctors should not be doing this. That's essentially what you're saying.
It's not. I'm not trying to demean the doctors, but I'm just trying to tell them to say the issues of drugs. The issues of drugs are not issues that can be every Jim and Jack can come in. You see, there are issues and complex concerning supply chain of drugs that someone need to understand very well before coming.
Your bias. So we understand your bias. You've been talking to us for a very long time, as TV.
No, I'm not biased, Bamusha. Every time you're calling me biased, but look, I'm being vindicated. So where is the biasness if I'm being vindicated with all what I said?
No, but when I say bias, bias towards pharmacists as opposed to internal medicine, as opposed to doctors.
No, I'm not being biased. I'm just saying the truth. You see, look, we are taking patients who need the specialist or someone who has done internal medicine to India, where we have our own people who have done internal medicine learning ZAMMSA. That was a wrong priority there, and it's good that has been corrected. And we have a new CEO, a very young lady who understands, and she seems to understand very well the supply chain of this medication. She has just been there now for about a month, if I'm not mistaken.
All right.
And from the way things are moving, you can see that someone understands where the problem is. Right. So one, the correct thing has been done. We have a right CEO. Now waiting for the substantive CEO who will be given a contract to be at ZAMMSA for 3 years. Then from there, we go and choose people who are supposed to be to learn the procurement unity at ZAMMSA. All these people are supposed to be there. They need to be above board, and they need to make sure that they put the Zambian people, the Zambian people first. Then they need to know, as you know very well, Vamusha, what the president talks about is supply chain and improving the business in terms of pharmaceutical manufacturing. So these people, as they come, the one who edge procurement and the other person who will be given as a CEO, they need to know that we are in a crisis. We are in a crisis somehow, which we need to sort out, where we can go back to the system of having our drugs being sorted out for about 3 months stock and all that.
So Jerome, I do understand you. Number one, you want the right person as Director General of ZAMMSA, and in your opinion, which is very well respected across TV Bakwetu, is that a pharmacist is better suited for that role than a medical doctor.
Fact, that's a fact. Yeah. That's a fact.
No.
No,
okay.
not that.
I do understand the struggle, Jerome. I do understand the struggle that has taken place for you as a pharmacist to raise the profile of your profession in the eyes of the public, right? Because akale mentality to akwete yako but hospital ni doctor na nurse. So you as a pharmacist, you have worked. And if there is anything that has come out of your advocacy, Jerome, is to elevate in people's minds, Zambians, to know that what we need is to go beyond just looking at medical doctors. But that health is, you need to look to take a multi-professional view of health. And that's why you do not like the system of just ministers of health appointing medical doctors across the board. What you have favored is, if it's ZAMMSA, which is the former medical stores, a pharmacist would be better suited. Have I expressed what you
yeah, Vamusha, just to add on from there, it's like you appoint me as a director surgery.
Okay.
Mama na mwaseka. Or you appoint me as a director pediatrics.
Yeah.
Even if you need it, yakana. Appointment in yakana.
Okay. And so what we need is a system where we begin. Okay. I think it's in our minds. Kwana Kalimo doctor is at the top of the food chain in hospitals.
Yeah,
so,
yeah. Look,
not only in hospitals, but in everything that is health related, and so that's how we look at it. That's why medical doctors are running literally every department in our health. And what you are saying is no. If it's something to do with drugs, let specialists such as pharmacists be able to run that. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, actually, that's what I'm trying to say. That's what I'm explaining here, Vamush. That's true. We need to have specialists.
And what you are saying is that you have noticed that is what is happening currently. The acting director general is actually a pharmacist. Am I right?
Yeah, the acting director general, she's now the pharmacist.
Okay. All right.
The pharmacist, yeah, she's a pharmacist.
Okay, now that one, we understand what your proposals are. The second thing that we need to look at is now we have a DG who is a pharmacist, quite all right. What should be the next things that should be done?
Okay, good. So the next step that is now we have that DG who's a pharmacist. Now the next thing that we need to have is a procurement officer. Yes, sir. Okay. This procurement officer need to understand the Public Procurement Act very well. You see? And then as we have this person, then we need to make sure that they start engaging very well with ZPPA to make sure that we do the tendering process as soon as possible. What is happening is ZAMMSA is a public institution, and Zambia nabale konkulala filyabalere nabesuka pamenso. So filyaba shikwire nabaleka nabesuka pamenso. So what is happening now? This procurement officer need to understand the Public Procurement Act.
Okay.
That they'll be using in terms of any procurement that is going to happen. We are just coming from the serious legal battle with the citizen-owned companies. You see, which seemed they at the point of them denied business, well, they are given a priority by the laws of Zambia to participate in the business in terms of supplying of drugs. So with the new director, I understand every pharmacist understand this very well to say when it comes to issues of supply of drugs, these issues and these pharmacies, or what I can say, citizen-owned companies, are given a priority as compared to local companies and foreign companies. What you need to understand about MoH is a local company is a company which is owned by a Zambian and a foreign citizen. Well, a citizen-owned company is a company owned 100% by the Zambian citizens. A foreign company is a company that does not have its offices in Zambia, but operates outside. All this information by MoH, there is nothing special. Every pharmacist knows this information, and it's in the public domain. So now, after that, we need to throw the tenders as soon as possible. Not the way tenders were being done under the tables. We have heard about tenders being given to members of the public, to some companies under the tables. That brings a lot of confusion.
Okay.
And a lot of
so now, your solution is you have a pharmacist to head ZAMMSA. That's appreciated.
Yeah, I've been proved right time after time.
Companies to tender to supply. Now, I want to deal a little bit with the tender to supply here. In December, a tender was issued. You objected to it, right?
Yes,
and
definitely.
The citizens group of citizen pharmacists.
Vamosha, not I objected. I opened the payments for Zambian to say, Money, but for family, you're going to permit. Now, if you let them menso, Zambians.
Yeah. Okay. Jerome, please. Okay. You did that in December, and citizens in our country went to court. And what you are saying is that that has been reversed. So then what do you want to see in the next tender that is brought?
You see, in the next tender, that should be, which I've said, the current ZAMMSA director, she seems to understand. They have already floated a tender for the supply of reagents for our laboratories countrywide. And they have specifically stated that citizen-owned companies first. When citizen-owned companies fails, then they need to come local companies or foreign-owned companies. But these companies, they need to partner with citizen-owned companies. So in this situation, this law and act is speaking to the mind of the President Hakainde Hichilema, who time after time mentioned to say, in the rebuilding of the economy, in giving jobs, in giving contracts, the citizen will be centered. And this is the tender that has been floated. So in the next tender now for supply of essential medicines, we want to say that citizen-owned companies are given a priority. Not a priority, sorry. The law is followed. This I'm not saying, Bamusha. When you read the Public Procurement Act number 8 of 2020, when you go direct to eligibility criteria, which is section 89H, section 89 subsection H, it clearly states to you that for any tender to happen, you see, they need to be citizen-owned companies. If citizen-owned company can fail, the local companies, those companies that have offices in Zambia, or foreign-owned companies, they need to partner with the citizen-owned companies. And that partnership should be before submitting the tenders. So when they are submitting the tenders, they should also submit the contract of partnership to say this foreign company has partnered with the company Jeremy, or this local company has partnered with company ABC. That's when they should be considered for them to supply drugs or for them to be awarded a tender.
So that's what we want to see in the next bid.
Yes, in the next bid. If ZAMMSA will not follow that, there'll be another. Oh.
Okay, turn your phone around, turn your gadget around, because you are coming at us. Yeah, that's better.
Yeah. Okay.
No,
let me. Okay, sorry, I received a call. Yeah, the people are calling me. Please, I'm using my phone for this live broadcast. I'll talk to you immediately I'm done with the live broadcast.
Okay, I think what we'll do here on TV Bakwetu is that all of our directors should really have a different device. You can't be using your phone. But director, okay. Now,
yes.
No, but where is the confusion? Because the law is very clear. Citizens-owned companies, local companies, and then foreign companies that partner with citizens-owned companies. That sounds very straightforward. No, but why haven't we had drugs for the past 10 months? Why aren't drugs getting supplied?
Yeah, Vamusha, the tender itself that came out, which is stipulated a lot of drugs to be supplied, which went to the court of law. If ZAMMSA did the other way around, the courts, against citizen-owned companies, they would have taken the matter to court to say which money are they going to use. You see, the fact which is here is, if the money has been used, would have said there is a problem. But even the money was ordered. So the way it is, if in that court issue there is Panado to say Panado Ivachitanani Bapera company Abamusha, which is a foreign company, Vashane Jeremy, who's a citizen here. You not see, since the matter is in court, you not see again ZAMMSA pushing in a tender to supply Panado. I'll get also the other thing to say, look, we are fighting this on this tender, but ZAMMSA actually issue another. Over the same, you have to again tender to supply Panado.
So court case
I'll take it to the court again.
So court case naipo.
Court case as things stands right now. Naipwa. Very ingira what is called a consent judgment between ZAMMSA lawyers and the citizen-owned companies lawyers for them to set the matter outside and all that, and it has been sorted out.
All right. So now we are going to get a new tender, and I hope citizens-owned companies are going to bid.
Yeah, you see, people like lying by saying that there is no capacity within our citizen-owned companies. That's not true, Vamusha. Our citizen-owned companies have the capacity currently. And there are a lot of financial, there is a lot of financial institutions that have been created to just fund any form of contract that you get through the government, provided the government issued a credit note order, something like that. So in terms of denying citizen business now, that is the thing of the past.
All right.
So the new director needs to make sure that
okay, you don't speak for the ministry now. I'm trying to speak to the Ministry of Health. So we expect to cover ZAMMSA, who is going to float this tender wangu Mairo. Can they do it tomorrow so that we get going? In a month.
Yeah. You see, the way it's supposed to do, ZAMMSA, they need to issue a tender as soon as possible for them to make sure that the drugs are there. What ZAMMSA can do with that, they can apply to ZPPA to shorten the process of tendering. You see, they can apply to ZPPA to shorten the process.
So you need to shorten it. As a matter of fact, you just need to take it and throw it away, because abantu nomba imwe abantu bafwe umulandu wa ZPPA.
Vamusha ifunde when 2 years time ngajasabuka abantu bakala bati abantu balefwayo nkufwa. So the best thing is,
so what does it take for ZPPA to shorten the process?
Look, we have not declared the issue of drugs as a state emergency. No, that's one we should know. And we are saying that we are not completely dry. You see, if we are completely dry, we would have said it's a state emergency.
What are you saying then, Jerome? Are you saying they need to shorten the process, or you are saying that they need to take their time?
They need to shorten the process. That is the right thing that need to do. And by shortening the process, they need to apply to ZPPA. ZPPA, instead of them spending 48 hours or 1 week or 3 months for them to sit to grant that permission, they can do that within hours and grant that permission to ZAMMSA for them to shorten the process of people bidding. What is needed is people to bid.
All right. So, no, ZPPA, now ZAMMSA, we have a crisis. Ishimiti shalapwa, in fact, not umfat kumbinashwa. So, tulifo emiti, impie poshidi, there is money. What is the problem?
Yeah, Bamusha, you see, this is where now
supply drugs. That's it. That's all we are interested. Joseph, if no stories, if complicated, it's not going to work. Imiti shire babane aleni ulupia money is there. No, but what's the problem?
Bamusha, the problem which is there is now comes the issue of corruption. You see, where people deliberately want to use shortcuts and underhands for them to make sure that they favor the companies that they have interest into to supply the drugs to the government. You see, this is what we have been talking about. When you have been given an opportunity, to serve the Zambian people, you need to be above board and make sure that you stay away from the corrupt activities. But now you discover that people make it things to be in a situation that there is corruption that happens. And when there is a drug crisis, Bamunsha, when there is drug crisis, most of the people who works in the Ministry of Health celebrates, because what happens is there will be all over people talking and they will be allowed to skip the steps. And this is what people want, to skip the steps so that wrong. You see, corruption, but they corrupt activities. But Zambians,
Jerome, we need